Profanity is ignorance made audible, an old Irish proverb. Cussing is like a virus. It's everywhere. TV, movies, music, books, and daily conversation. But why is cussing wrong? And how do you kick the habit? Keep watching because I'm going to give you 8 reasons to stop cussing forever. Number 1, real men don't cuss. Real men know that vulgarity doesn't breed character and virtue, so they don't cuss. In fact, George Washington issued the following order in 1776. The general is sorry to be informed that the foolish and wicked practice of profane cursing and swearing, a vice heretofore little known in the American army, is growing into fashion. He hopes the officers will, by example as well as influence, endeavor to check it, and that both they and the men will reflect that we can have little hopes of the blessing of heaven on our arms if we insult it by our impiety and folly. Added to this, it is a vice so mean and low without any temptation that every man of sense and character detests and despises it. Number 2, cussing degrades us.
Foul language, cussing, and cursing is vulgar, indecent, and irreverent. The constant use of foul language drags us down and it undermines mutual respect. For example, if a teacher uses foul language in the classroom, he shows an appalling lack of respect for his students, no self-control, and utter irreverence for his position as a teacher. But someone might object, a few foul words won't hurt anyone, right? Wrong. As author Paul Bourget said, one must live as one thinks, under pain of sooner or later ending up thinking as one has lived. In other words, if we use dirty language, we open the door to dirty thoughts and dirty behavior.
Number 3, cussing harms civilization.
The art of conversation is one of the most important traits of civilization. Elevated conversation sets true civilization apart from barbarism. When each word is used in its proper context, human relations are cultivated and elevated. Cussing, however, wreaks havoc on good conversation. It drags human relations into the mud of banality and vulgarity.
St. Francis de Sales teaches us how to handle a foul mouth. Show that you are displeased by turning away or by whatever other method your discretion may indicate. Number 4, cussing desensitizes us. The more we hear foul words, the more we become desensitized to them. When movies first introduced cuss words, most people didn't even like it. But over a period of time, that resistance slowly diminished. Rejection for cussing was worn down, and before long, the sense of right and wrong was numbed.
Whenever we fail to explicitly reject something that is wrong, we implicitly tend to accept it. Consequently, the unacceptable becomes acceptable. The bar of decency falls lower and lower.
Number 5, cussing broadcasts bad example.
For good or for ill, the example we give in our speech is noticed and imitated. The words we use cause an impact on our peers. Our example is educational, because the very words we use educate. We are constantly imitating or being imitated, and that interplay of influence holds even more sway over children.
Hollywood pop stars produce a steady stream of verbal garbage that aims to glamorize and normalize foul language. If we want to lift American culture out of the mud, a good place to begin is to stop cussing.
Number 6, cussing spreads verbal and mental poverty.
With upwards of 200,000 words, the English language is incredibly rich. All sorts of descriptive and interesting words are at our disposal to craft ideas full of meaning and purpose. But our vocabulary is degrading. Even in the halls of higher learning, college students use the same cuss words to describe joy, rage, surprise, approval, and disapproval. As a result, speech is rendered meaningless, and the mind, which is the most noble aspect of man, is impoverished.
Number 7, cussing is CoNatural with sin.
Man's unruly passions welcome cussing. When ungodly men are confronted or challenged, they frequently resort to the same response, cussing and vulgar insults. TFP Student Action volunteers see this far too often on college campuses. When pro-transgender activists see our banners that proclaim God created them male and female, stop the ravages of transgender ideology, the response is invariably the same. They cuss.
To argue about a bunch of bigots, how many times do I have to tell you that?
It's been so hard, encountering, people that are actually, so stupid.
cussing is the language of the movements that promote sin.
Number 8, cussing is not pleasing to God. Sacred Scripture clearly addresses the profanity problem. But I say unto you, that every idle word that men shall speak, they shall render an account for it in the day of judgment. For by thy words thou shalt be justified, and by thy words thou shalt be condemned. In Proverbs we read, the mouth of the just shall bring forth wisdom, the tongue of the perverse shall perish. The lips of the just consider what is acceptable, and the mouth of the wicked uttereth perverse things. Ecclesiasticus adds, many have fallen by the edge of the sword, but not so many as have perished by their own tongue. Do you want to help others kick the cussing habit? Then share this video. Tips to break the cussing habit. Do 5 push-ups every time you cuss. Put $5 in a jar. Or challenge a friend to give up cussing with you. Thanks for watching, and God bless you.